Iran fires back with nearly a dozen missiles launched at the U.S. airbase in Qatar. This is obviously a developing story. We're going to bring in the Hill's Brett Samuels. Brett, what do we know so far?
Yeah, Judy, as you said, a clear escalation in this conflict between Iran and the United States. What we know from the White House and from Israeli sources is that, as you mentioned, Iran has fired about 10 missiles toward a U.S. base that is in Qatar in the Middle East. The latest reports are it seems that those missiles were intercepted or fended off by Qatari defenses. So we're still waiting to hear sort of the latest from the White House on what they know about this, but certainly a step up from Iran as they look to respond to those U.S. strikes over the weekend.
Brett, where does this conflict go from here? Is this an escalation? Is it going to expand? Or is this it as far as an Iranian response?
That's the big question. Obviously, after the U.S. Struck three Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend, that was sort of the big lingering question was how would Iran respond, whether it was via a cyber attack or targeting U.S. personnel or bases in the region. It does seem that they fired these missiles toward a U.S. base in Qatar. So now we're kind of waiting to see, on the one hand, does Iran take further action? And on the other hand, well, how does the Trump administration respond to this? Do they go after Iran? President Trump had warned Iran against retaliation, had suggested he could use further force. So, certainly a risk here that this is just going to further draw the U.S. into this conflict.
I understand President Trump is currently in the Situation Room. What are you hearing from the White House about this so far?
Yeah, so this meeting with his national security team was already on President Trump's schedule going into the day today, and obviously it's taken on new importance given what is happening in the Middle East with these missiles being sent toward Qatar. President Trump is meeting with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and other members of his national security team. We haven't seen the president on camera today on Monday, and obviously we're waiting to hear whether he will address these latest actions from Iran at some point.
Brett Samuels tracking all the details on this 10 missiles rather launched at the American Air Base right outside Doha in Qatar. Thank you so much, Brett.
Thanks, Judy.